Hello all, welcome to our CA Sansaar YouTube channel. I hope that everybody is safe and healthy and taking good care of yourself and your family. Since this lockdown period has been extended by the government in 3rd May 2020, so I hope that everybody is utilizing the time in the best possible manner, maybe doing the official task which has been allotted to respective employees, or maybe planning for future. Once this lockdown is over, what should be the action plan for anybody need to take. Plus, you guys must be updating yourself in the respective subject or respective fields in which you deal with. So it's a small effort from our side just to update you guys on a very interesting and important topic of tax planning on salaried employees. So see, this tax planning is pretty much important not only from employee point of view but for employer and professionals also. We'll see how it is important. So before starting my presentation, I would like to thank Vivek sir for giving me this opportunity to discuss on this very important topic, which is tax planning for salaried employees. Again, I have divided our discussion into 3 parts. In the first part, we will see how it is important to what category of persons. In the second part, we'll take overview of our discussion, because the salary chapter is in itself a bigger chapter, and in the limited time, in the given time, it is not possible to explain each and everything and to cover each and everything during our discussion. So I have selected a very common, very few topics, which are not pretty common in today's era, which are not there in, especially in smaller companies or in mediocre companies. Few companies might be having, but most of the companies, especially at smaller level or at mediocre level, these concepts are yet to be implemented. So we have covered only those concepts. And in the third phase of our discussion, we will discuss each and every that concept individually in detail. So now moving on to the first thing, which is importance of this particular discussion. See, for employees, definitely it is important because they are going to get the direct monetary benefit out of this, because in the form of reduced tax burden. So if the taxes are reduced, then definitely their take-home salary is going to increase. So they are going to benefit in a very direct way. So without any doubt, it is important for the employees. Now, does it important for the employer also? Yes, it is important. How? See, if you provide them more take-home salary, then the satisfaction in between the employees will be on a higher side, which ultimately results in lower attrition rate. Lower attrition rate means employee कम छोड़ के जाएंगे, जिससे कि क्या होगा कि हमारे पुराने employee continue करेंगे. So in case of lower attrition rate, definitely employer will be able to save the cost saving in the form of which anybody could incur for hiring the new staff. Because अगर पुराने एम्प्लॉय छोड़ के नहीं जाएंगे तो नए एम्प्लॉयज आएंगे नहीं, नए एम्प्लॉयज हायर करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी unless employer is going for any expansion or something or a similar activity. So cost saving in case of new staff hiring, and if the older employee continue in any organization, the efficiency is going to increase. Efficiency is going to be on a higher side because employees knows the company pretty well. They know what kind of step need to be taken, what kind of action need to be taken in what kind of situation. On the other hand, employer is also aware the strengths and weaknesses of the employee. So accordingly, the task may be allotted to those employees. So definitely, if older employee continues there, then the efficiency in work definitely will be on a higher side. And at certain point in time, there might be chances that companies are able to hire the new talent at a lower cost compared to the market. How? Because for employee, according to us, what all matters is what is the net salary they are going to get after taxes. So let's say if anybody is getting in the market 1 lakh per month, and 25,000 is being deducted in the form of taxes, and ultimately is getting 75,000. But in another company where all these tax plannings have been done, and they are offering the salary of 95,000, but somehow they due to reduced tax burden, they'll be offer a net tax salary, net payout to the employee, maybe more than 75,000, maybe 80,000, or maybe near to that. Then definitely employee would like to join this company, even though the gross package is less as compared to what he or she can get in the market, but still because the net salary he's getting more in this company, so definitely he might join this company. So now we can see that it is important for the employer also. Does it important for the professional also, for the consultant, for chartered accountants like us? Definitely yes, it is important for the professional also. See, whenever I discuss anything, I always try to find the opportunity for value addition to the client. And according to us, employees are the biggest asset of any organization. So don't you think when you are going to increase the value of the biggest asset of any company, you are making the value addition to the client? By doing this, definitely you are gaining the confidence of the client, and which ultimately results in not only retaining the existing client but also securing the additional client through the existing client. So definitely it is important for the professional, for the employer and employee. For everybody it is pretty important. Now we are coming on to the second phase of our discussion, which is overview of discussion, what we are going to discuss today. See, for one thing I want to make it very, very clear that whenever we discuss anything, it has to be in the form of tax planning only and not tax evasion. Tax planning means when anybody try to reduce the tax liability by taking the maximum advantages of, let's say, relief, deduction, exemptions available in the respective law, then it is called as tax planning. There, because here we are not violating the law, we are not compromising the law. Once we start compromising the law, once we start bypassing the law just to reduce our tax liability, it becomes tax evasion. So according to us, no consultant would like to ever discuss about the tax evasion concept. So now today's topic, as we discussed, related to tax planning for salaried employees, and we have also discussed that salary chapter is in itself a bigger chapter, so we can't discuss each and every concept of this salary chapter. So but we are not discussing today definition of salary, because this is, everybody knows what is the meaning of salary. Then the common allowances which are there in almost all the companies, like house rent allowance, HRA, leave travel allowance, etc. Because everybody is taking, most of the employees are taking benefit of it wherever they are eligible for. And the standard deduction, which is also pretty common, which is being given by a flat amount by the government. So the employees are taking benefit of it. We are also not discussing today the retirement benefits, pretty common retirement benefits like gratuity leave, encashment, pension, because these things are also there in today's era in every company. And as per their eligibility, employees are getting benefit out of it. We are also not discussing the common perquisites like rent-free accommodation, servant facility, stock options, etc. See, these might not exist in a smaller companies or in a mediocre companies, because these are normally exist in a larger companies or higher mediocre companies. But we feel is their professionals are there and they are much taking care of all these concepts. So we are not going into discussion in those concepts today. And definitely, if required, just let me know. We can plan for another discussion and on some specific topics if we request according, if we get the request according to that. So, my dear friends, now what we are going to discuss? अगर हम ये सब नहीं discuss करेंगे तो discuss क्या करेंगे? We are going to discuss today very limited concepts, which might not be smaller companies or mediocre companies which might not be using so regularly that they are using the above concepts which we just mentioned. What are those concepts? Like uniform allowance, food voucher oblique coupons to the employee, reimbursement of motor car expenses to the employee, gift in kind to the employee, children education allowance, hostel expenditure allowance. This is it from the salary chapter. And at the end, I would like to discuss a pretty interesting amendment which came in Finance Act 2018 in Section 80D. We'll discuss what it is. So now we are in the third phase. We are moving towards the third phase of our discussion, wherein we are going to discuss each concept individually in detail. One is first is uniform allowance. My dear friends, this is the most important discussion that we are going to have today, because uniform allowance is in itself having a capacity of saving a material substantial tax for any employer. So before going on to the discussion of exemption of this uniform allowance, first I think we should discuss what is uniform allowance, why it is normally given to the employees. Uniform allowance, as the name suggests, uniform allowance is something which is given by the employer just to the employee to maintain or to purchase the uniform which they normally wear during the office hours. A uniform does not mean that having a tag of the company, or just like school uniform, a specified dress is there which need to wear everybody, and only one color is there or only one class is there. Nothing like this. We'll see how we can make tax planning into this. So as per section 1014 read with 2BB of the Income Tax Rules of Income Tax Act, uniform allowance is exempted to the extent of actual expenditure incurred by the employee towards purchase or maintenance of uniform to wear during the performance of duties of an office. So that means कि यूनिफॉर्म अलाउंस की एग्जम्पशन वहां तक मिल सकती है किसी एम्प्लॉय को जहां तक वो एक्चुअल खर्चा करेगा, जहां तक ही इज गोइंग टू इनकर एक्चुअल एक्सपेंडिचर, उस अमाउंट तक आउट ऑफ द यूनिफॉर्म अलाउंस एनी एम्प्लॉय कैन क्लेम द एग्जम्पशन. जैसे हम नॉर्मली कपड़े खरीदते हैं ऑफिस में पहनने के लिए, उसको मेंटेन करने के लिए हम आयरनिंग करवाते हैं, हम लॉन्ड्री का बिल पे करते हैं, तो वो सारे खर्चे हम यहाँ पे इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ exemption, in the form of exemption out of the uniform allowance which anybody is getting. So are there any condition which anybody need to fulfill before taking any exemption under this particular section? Yes, my dear friend, there are three conditions which any employee and employer need to fulfill before making any exemption under this particular concept. First is it has to be part of salary structure of the employer. जब तक वो सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर का पार्ट ही नहीं होगा, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ वी आर सेइंग कि किसी को सैलरी मिल रही है 1 लाख की एंड वी आर सेइंग कि यूनिफॉर्म अलाउंस उसमें एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता, जब तक उसको यूनिफॉर्म अलाउंस मिलेगा ही नहीं तब तक हम ये कैसे देखेंगे कि उसमें से एग्जम्पशन हम कितना दे सकते हैं किसी एम्प्लॉय को. सो इट इज द प्री मैंडेटरी कंडीशन कि बिफोर क्लेमिंग एनी एग्जम्पशन इन द आउट ऑफ द यूनिफॉर्म अलाउंस मस्ट बी पार्ट ऑफ द सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ दैट एम्प्लॉय. So first condition is very clear कि सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर का पार्ट होना चाहिए यूनिफॉर्म अलाउंस, तभी हम इसमें कोई डिडक्शन क्लेम कर सकते हैं. The second condition is again a very important condition. Dress code policy must be defined by the company. See, we have seen few cases, few practical cases at the tribunal level as well as at the high court level, where the employees have claimed the deduction under this particular concept, but somehow company not mentioned any dress code policy, and because of that department has disallowed all those exemption and asked them to deposit the taxes with interest and penalty. So dress code policy need to be defined by the company. This may differ in some specific class of person within the same company, like for manager and above level this is the dress code policy, for below manager level this is the dress code policy, and maybe otherwise also they can make classification as per their wish, as per the company's wish. But yes, it has to be in writing, it has to be well circulated and informed to every employee of the company, because until unless you inform to the every employee of the company, then it will not be assumed that the dress code policies ever exist in the company. So maybe any company can make part of it as a HR policy. When any new staff is introduced to the company, they can narrate this policy as part of the other company's policy of the company. Now the next question comes in कि how we can define the dress code policy. ये बड़ा कॉमन क्वेश्चन है जो कई बार आता है कि ड्रेस कोड पॉलिसी हम किस तरीके से डिफाइन करें कि जिससे एम्प्लॉय को बेनिफिट भी मिले और एम्प्लॉय को ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम भी ना हो. So I have tried to capture an example which could be defined by any company in the form of dress code policy. We will discuss after discussing those three conditions which are mandatory to claim any benefit under this section. So third condition is the expenditure must be incurred by the employee and proof of the same need to be submitted by the employee in the form of invoices of the supportings. So as the section allows us, the deduction, the exemption can only be claimed to the extent of actual expenditure. That means actual expenditure तो करना ही पड़ेगा. जब तक खर्चा हम नहीं करेंगे तब तक nobody can claim any exemption under this section. And वो खर्चा किया है हमें पता कैसे लगेगा? We have to submit to the employer, to the company, proof of those invoices, proof of those expenses, maybe in the form of invoices or maybe in the form of supportings. So I hope all those three conditions are pretty clear to everyone, and everybody understood these three conditions are logical also. Now we'll see an example of how a dress code policy could be defined by any company. So before discussing on to dress code policy, normally what we wear during office hours, हम पहनते क्या है normally हम लोग पहनते हैं सर कि फुल स्लीव शर्ट पहनते हैं राइट कलर की, साथ में डार्क कलर की ट्राउजर पहनते हैं, या फिर बिजनेस सूट डाल लेते हैं, ठीक है जी. या फिर फुटवेयर के लिए नॉर्मली हम क्या पहनते हैं, फुटवेयर में नॉर्मली फॉर्मल शूज डालते हैं along with socks which are matching to the trouser. This is from male employee point of view. If I'm asking, this is what we normally wear. Exactly, this is what I try to define in the dress code policy of the company. We'll see during the performance of office duties, every male employee need to wear plain full sleeve light color shirt. अब यहाँ पर light color could also be defined by the company, like in the form of white color, off-white color, cream color. You know, colors could also be defined along with the formal dark color trouser. A dark color trouser could also be defined like black, blue, or similar color with formal, belt on it. So this is what we normally wear. It's just about to define the policy in the company's policy menu. Now, further, few employees might wear business suit. So again, this can also be made part of our policy, business suit of dark color. Again, here also we can define as a dark color or light color or any other color. Colors could also be specified by the company. Ki this color के business suit can be worn by the employees. Further, for footwear, formal dark color shoes along with the socks matching with the trouser. कि ट्राउजर के मैचिंग की सॉक्स पहन ले एंड देन उसके नीचे हम डार्क कलर के शूज पहन ले. डार्क कलर शूज अगेन could be defined in the form of like black color shoes, blue color shoes. It depends on company to company. This is it from the male employee point of view. So if the company will be able to define this much of policy from employee point of view, and if employee adhere to this policy, they can claim benefit under this section. Now we can talk about from the female employee point of view. So female employee normally what they wear, business suit, salwar kameez, sari, or maybe ladies formal shirt along with formal trousers. This is what normally they wear. And footwear again the same, but the males are wearing like formal shoes along with the socks, and maybe some other things also like sandals also could be defined in a proper way. So again here also we can define that every female employee can wear any one out of this, like business suit. Again, color could be defined. Salwar kameez, again, color could be defined by the company. Sari, or again, formal ladies shirt of light color or dark color. And again, with formal ladies trouser. So, हमें यहाँ पे सिर्फ और सिर्फ policy define करनी है, and if employee adhere to this policy, then they can very well claim under this particular concept the exemption of a substantial amount. And normally हम लोग देखते हैं कि last working day पे normally we avoid this formals and normally we wear the casuals. So this is what can make part of this policy also. Further, on last working day of every week, Friday or Saturday as the case may be. In case of 5-day working, Friday will be the last working day. In case of 6-day working, Saturday will be the last working day. So employees can wear the casuals and avoid the above also. So my dear friend, this is very simple and not difficult to implement in any company. Now few employee can question ki normally वो तो daily की daily ही casuals पहनते हैं. So my dear friends, in that scenario definitely those employee need to make some sort of adjustment or company need to define accordingly, because otherwise अगर किसी को भी claim करना है benefit under this particular concept, तो definitely थोड़ी बहुत adjustment तो employee को भी करनी ही पड़ेगी. Now we'll move on ki how much quantum of exemption any employee can avail under this particular section. See my dear friend, normally हम कितना खर्च करते हैं अपने कपड़े खरीदने पे या उसको मेंटेन करने पे? 5 से 10,000 monthly, depending on the class of person, depending on the in the company, on the environment of the company, on the requirement of the company. Normally हम 5 से 10,000 पे easily हम खर्च कर देते हैं on a monthly basis. So definitely we can claim every such exemption like 5 to 10,000 per month under this particular concept. When we say 5 to 10,000 per month, that means on annual basis 60,000 to 1,20,000. And if we take even an average tax rate of 20% per employee, then only by this particular concept we will be able to save 15,000 to 20,000 per annum per employee. And here we find that we are only taking the average tax rate. Few employees might be in the total tax bracket of 30, more than 30% also. In that scenario, definitely the amount is going to be increased in the form of tax saving. If the employees are, in a lesser tax bracket like 10%, 15%, then obviously this amount can be reduced. But on an average basis, we can easily say कि 15-20,000 रुपए monthly, 15-20,000 रुपए annually, sorry, we can easily save per employee tax. So अगर किसी organization में mediocre या small organization में let's say on an average अगर हम 20-25 employee भी मान लेते हैं, तो 4-5 लाख रुपए हम easily tax save कर रहे हैं for employees in that particular company. So now you can assume, you can assess how important this section is. Now we are moving on to the second concept which we are going to discuss today: food voucher or oblique coupons to the employee. So what is this? See, basically normally companies क्या करती हैं, जो बड़ी companies होती हैं वो normally food offices में provide कर देती हैं employees को. That is totally exempt. There is no tax burden on the employee. And few companies, what they are doing, as per section 17(2)(8), read with rule 3(7) की clause 3 of the income tax rules, food in office premises or through non-transferable prepaid vouchers usable only and at eating joints provided by the employer is not taxable if the cost of the coupon of the voucher is up to 50 rupees per meal. अगर company vouchers देती है, prepaid vouchers देती है, which can be redeemed at eatable joints only, and their cost, if it is not going up above rupees 50 per meal, then you know all those coupons can be provided free of tax to the employee. Employee will not require to pay any single tax on the 50 rupee voucher. And in one day, an employee could be given 2 vouchers. So एक दिन में 2 vouchers दिए जा सकते हैं employee को. That means एक दिन में 100 rupees के voucher employee को दिए जा सकते हैं. अगर मैं मंथली काउंट करूं, लेट्स से अगर फ्राइडे कोई कंपनी काम करती है, so 22 days वर्किंग हो जाते हैं, तो 2200 per month. In case of 6 day, it will be 2600 per month. अगर मैं एनुअली बोलूं, in case of 5 day working, 26,400, and in case of 6 day working, it is 31,200. So my dear friend, this much of salary can be segregated, can be deployed towards the food coupons, you know, which in this, after discussion with your employer, if your company is agreeing on providing you in the form of vouchers, food coupons, in the according to this policy, then you'll be able to save tax on your 26,400 or 31,200 salary, as the case may be. You know, if you are working 5 days, then 26,400. If you are working 6 days, then 31,200 can be made as tax-free income out of your salary. Sir, कोई condition भी है इसको हमने इसको claim करने के लिए? Yes. See, there are only 2 conditions which any employee need to fulfill before claiming any exemption under this section. One is, employee coupons should be redeemable only and at eating outlets. You know why we are emphasizing on this point? Because practically also we have seen in case of few companies, I will not name those companies, in case of few companies we have seen that they are providing the vouchers which can be redeemable at grocery stores. So अगर हम grocery shop पे जाके राशन लेने के लिए उसको consume कर सकते हैं, उसको हम use कर सकते हैं, then the deduction is not allowed under this section, because it is specifically in as an alternative to provide them the food. So food की जगह, जहां कंपनी को food देना चाहिए, उसकी जगह वो कूपन दे रहे हैं कि जाके वो बाहर food खा सके. So it is not like कि they are giving it to the employee to purchase the ration for their home. So first condition is those vouchers should be redeemable only at eating outlets. The second condition is the exemption can only be given for the days employee worked for office purpose. That means अगर कोई employee personal purpose से leave पे गया है, तो उन दिनों के लिए उसको या तो कूपन नहीं दे कंपनी, या फिर कंपनी अगर कूपन दे रही है तो उसको टैक्सेबल कर दे in the form of the salary of that employee. So that means कि जितने दिन एम्प्लॉई ऑफिस का काम कर रहा है, सिर्फ उतने दिन ही उसको फूड वाउचर्स दिए जा सकते हैं, उतने दिन की ही एग्जम्पशन क्लेम की जा सकती है, टू बी प्रिसाइज. एंड एग्जम्पशन, एज वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड, 100 rupees per day out of the salary in the form of 2 meal vouchers of rupees 50 each. So average, again if we are taking average tax rate of 20%, again we can say कि 5 से 6,000 रुपए per annum per employee easily company can save taxation. And you know, in case of employees again are going to higher bracket, then definitely they will be able to save more taxes, and vice versa. So easily 5-6,000 रुपए per employee company यहाँ पर भी tax save कर सकती है इस छोटे से concept को implement करने से. Now we are moving on to the third discussion point, which is reimbursement of motor car expenses. Now, see, there are 3-4 concepts are there in this particular concept, like when the motor car is owned by the company and the company has provided you just to use this motor car for the official purpose, then तो definitely हम सारे के सारे खर्चे कंपनी से claim करते हैं because we normally use it for the official purpose. Second scenario could be कि हमारी गाड़ी है which we are using for solely for official purpose. Again, we are claiming it everything from the company because we are using it fully for the official purpose. Then also there is no question of adding any income in the salary of the employee. Now the third scenario, wherein the motor car is owned by the employee and the employee is using it partly for official purpose and partly for personal purpose. And here again, partly is not defined anywhere. Partly could be if we are using, let's say, 3-4% for official purpose and rest 96-97% for personal purpose. Then also we can provide exemption under this particular section to the employees. And what is the exemption reimbursement the employee could claim? We'll see. As per section 17(2), clause 8, read with rule 3(2), following exemption is available. It is available on the basis of engine capacity of the car which is owned by the employee. Let's say if the engine capacity is below 1600 cc, then the employee can claim reimbursement up to 1800 per month as a tax-free reimbursement. And if the engine capacity of the motor car is going above 1600 cc, then obviously 2400 per month up to this limit can be claimed by the employee in the form of reimbursement of motor car expenses from the company, which will be totally tax-free. And if driver is also employed, then 900 extra could be claimed by the employee from the company as a tax-free reimbursement. So 1800 per month, that means 21,600 per annum. And in case we are talking about 2400 per month, that means 28,800 per annum. So again, my dear friends, if this can be implemented, again we can easily save 5 to 6,000 per annum on an average basis per employee in a company. Again, by taking an average tax rate of 20%. So now if somebody says, okay, I don't have any car, I own only motorbike or scooter. For them also, the section says where the employee owns other automotive conveyance like scooter, motorbike, etc., and using the same partly for official and partly for personal purpose, again he or she can claim 900 per month as a tax-free reimbursement from the company. So again, a pretty important section. Anybody could do a handsome tax planning by this concept also. Now we'll discuss other 3 very small tools, although their impact might not be that big, but still, if the benefit is there, what is the harm in taking the benefit? If the benefit is allowed by the company, we should take it. So from that point of view, I've covered all those 3 things. Gift in kind from the employer, from the company, up to 5,000 per annum. See, normally in case of bigger companies, we have seen that normally वहाँ पे क्या होता है, bonus मिल जाता है 1 महीने की सैलरी या 15 days या 2 months की सैलरी ऐसा केस में भी, एंड बोनस मिलने के बाद उनको कोई गिफ्ट नहीं मिलता है, एंड बोनस पूरा का पूरा टैक्सेबल हो जाता है. In that scenario, those companies can plan in such a way that they can provide to the employee 5,000 gift in kind. Please appreciate that this is only available when we are giving gift to the employee in kind, not in cash, not through bank draft, not through online transfer. अगर हम उसको कोई गिफ्ट देते हैं काइंड में, कोई चीज खरीद के देते हैं, तो वो 5,000 रुपए तक की अगर उसकी कॉस्ट है, तो वो टोटली एग्जम्प्ट है इन द हैंड्स ऑफ द एम्प्लॉय. सो नॉर्मली हर एक एम्प्लॉय कुछ ना कुछ पूरे साल में परचेज करता ही रहता है. So in case the company is not of the habit of giving the gift to the employee, so then anybody can plan in such a way कि 5,000 रुपए तक का गिफ्ट कंपनी एम्प्लॉय को दे दे out of his salary, and that could be claimed as tax free by the employee. Now the next one is children education allowance. Children education allowance is exempt up to an extent of 100 rupee per month per child up to 2 children. Again, the amount is very small, 100 rupee per month per child. That means 200 rupees per month. दो चिल्ड्रन भी हैं और वो मतलब पूरे महीने पूरे साल भी यूज करता है, then also 2400 per month. But my dear friends, see, if the benefit is given, and to be very honest, I have not seen very regularly this making form part of salary structure of the in the companies. So अगर 2400 रुपए का भी benefit available है, which 2400 रुपए की भी income अगर हम tax free claim कर सकते हैं, so what is the harm of claiming that income as a tax free? The only condition is the expenditure must be incurred in India. So which in maximum cases normally what we do. So if it is not part of salary structure up to this point, might be employer can from now onward make this as a part of salary structure. Similarly, for hostel expenditure allowance also, this also we have not seen very regularly in salary structure of the employee. Again, exemption up to an extent of 300 per month per child for 2 children can be made. That means maximum 7200 per annum. The deduction can be claimed from the income in the form of hostel expenditure allowance. Again, the only condition is the expenditure must be incurred in India on the specific expense. So this is it from the salary side. So see, by doing this, I'm presuming that anybody will be able to save near about 30 to 35,000 tax pretty easily on an average basis per employee we are talking about. So we can make out the effect of this discussion. At last, as I said, I would like to discuss the amendment in section 80D, which came in Finance Act 2018. This is a very logical amendment made by the government and very critical one also. And we have seen that in few cases, either employer or employee are not aware of this deduction, and due to which might be whoso are eligible to claim any deduction under this section, might be they are not claiming any deduction under this particular section. अभी तक हमें यही पता है कि एटीडी हम तभी क्लेम करते हैं जब मेडिक्लेम इंश्योरेंस हमने लिया होता है, एंड दैट टू उसकी प्रीमियम की पेमेंट हमने अदर देन कैश पे की होती है. But in Finance Act 2018, government make a very important amendment, which is the deduction under this section could also be claimed by the senior citizens in the form of actual medical expenditure incurred by them up to an amount of 50,000 per annum, provided they have not taken any mediclaim insurance for any reason. See, हमने ये भी देखा है कि in case of senior citizen, काफी cases में they have not taken any mediclaim insurance. The reason could be pre-existing ailment, because of which no company is offering them the mediclaim insurance, or maybe at that level the premiums are on a higher side. So maybe those senior citizens might not be able to afford those premiums, and in few cases due to their wish also कि भाई इतना बड़ा मेरे को प्रीमियम देने से बेटर है, जब खर्चा होगा देखा जाएगा. So from all those point of view, काफी cases में in case of senior citizens, they don't have any mediclaim insurance. So for them, if they don't have any mediclaim insurance, they can claim deduction under this particular section on the basis of medical treatment if anybody requires, unfortunately during this year. अगर किसी को कोई डिजीज होती है, किसी को मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है अनफॉर्चुनेटली, एंड वो करवाता है, तो उस पे जो भी एक्सपेंस होता है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इनवॉइसेस up to an amount of 50,000, he can claim benefit under this section 80D of income tax. Now if somebody says कि my parents are dependent on me, and I am bearing all those expenses of mediclaim on senior citizens, in that scenario definitely those person on whom the senior citizens are dependent, they can take benefit of this particular section. So this is it from my side, and I hope that I will be able to convince few guys to implement few of these techniques if they are not implemented up till this stage. So thank you so much again.